Seemingly to numb the pain of reality, more Kenyans are taken to the bottle. Now, what can be the ripple effect of this alarming trend in our country here? That is our conversation today on yet another insightful edition of Business Glide, your go-to point on matters public policy analysis, business and economics at large. With yours truly, Richard Mwenje, your resident host and economist on the channel. And with me on this conversation is none other than the man wearing the floral shirt, Herman Manyora. Great to see you, sir. You're looking all good. What's the reason behind all this glittering?
My God.
Not quite, because word on the street is that you are planning your Meet the People tour at the United States of America, funded by the civil society. How true is that?
What is that now? That's a small matter.
You are launching your campaign manifesto for 2027 presidential bid?
Very soon.
Who is your sponsor, though?
The people of Kenya.
You can't say.
Yes.
Are you part of the opposition now?
No.
Then why pick the subject of enlightening Kenyans on their rights in your
I'm with the people
tour?
I'm with the people and for the people. Yes.
Are you serious, Prof?
This is too early. Please, let's talk about other things.
Very well. Straight into our conversation today, we are talking matters many Kenyans take into the bottle. A very alarming trend, more Kenyans, especially youths, are now looking at alcohol as the last resort to their pain and struggles. Which actually begs the question, there seems to be some sort of mystery in here. We are seeing households, we are seeing steady budget that is allocated for consumption of alcohol. But then at the same time, they're decrying the high cost of living, them not being able to afford the cost of goods and services and basic commodities such as food. Why do you think someone will be very much willing to go and purchase alcohol when they are decrying the high rising cost of food?
People don't budget for alcohol. People just take alcohol. You go to the bar after your salary, you say, okay, I have 50,000. Well, I can do 5,000 today, but then you end up doing 20. Pombe inakuwa tamu, marafiki wanakuwa wazuri. Unafika 25.
A case of mismatching priorities.
Unaibiwa ingine. Unaenda nyumbani na 5,000. Nobody budgets for... No, I mean, the drinking, the kind of drinking we are talking about, people don't budget for it. But in some cultures, where most drinking is done in the home, people budget and they buy alcohol, they take to the house. To take wine, you buy some whiskey, you buy for that is budgeted for. But this one you're going to go back.
But then again, let's narrow down to a situation here in Kenya, and
Yes.
it is very worrying because a youth finds it more suitable for him or her to forego getting a meal. Instead, they are going to purchase a beer or two. What could be informing this change in priority? That for them, alcohol is far much better.
Sometimes stress, sometimes misery, sometimes hopelessness can send people into alcohol and drugs. Actually, many times, many of the people who are abusing alcohol have underlying problems. If you follow them, they're stressed. Job-related stress, people unemployed, people maybe they're educated, they have degrees, but they are forced to go to Mjengo like Gachagua was saying, and we have not changed the way we view Mjengo. People like this, people like those can go and drink, and then there are problems. You can't make ends meet, you can't balance anything, you can't budget the little money you have. You get sort of confused, you're just there and you drink.
Let's advance that conversation. And there is a section of Kenyans who believe that the alarming trend of people going to take the bottle to wash away their struggles is largely attributed to the government selling hopelessness. Case in point, when DP Gachagua told graduates at JKUAT that there are no longer jobs, opportunities for them, and most likely the easiest quantities in the kazi ya mjengo. And even looking at the labor migration industry, there are still barriers to entry for many of our Kenyans therein. Do you feel that the government has really failed terribly in selling hope to the citizens? That's why they're taking the bottle.
Yeah, hope is at the center of survival. Without hope, man is, you're just there, it's not good. So government must ensure there is hope in the country. For now, I'm not seeing much of that effort. And the people, the consumption of alcohol in this country has reached very dangerous levels. I was home in the Western, and people are bringing things from Uganda now, ethanol. I'm telling you, from Uganda. I hope Kenya's, the police and the intelligence, they must.
Right through our border?
Yes, ethanol. Then it's just mixed with some water. Soon you'll hear some calamities. You'll hear 200 people are blind and dead in Western. Ethanol is lethal. So it's a question somebody may not mix, may think they have mixed, then they have forgotten to add. And then it is conk. People, that's how people get blind. Ethanol is coming from Uganda to Kenya. And let them take me on. There are even people, I was in a place called Luanda. There are even people there selling it like as if it is beer. With girls in uniform selling.
Open business.
Open business. You know, it's bad. There's a lot of ethanol. You know, the crampdown on alcohol in Mount Kenya is now being felt in Western Kenya. And then I'm asking the leaders from Western, Mudavadi and Wetangula, those of you who are now in government, at the top, number 3, each of you is number 3. Gachagua is managing to make it very difficult for people to sell alcohol, that kind of alcohol in Mount Kenya. The next frontier is Western.
Then Coast region and all that.
Because if you take to Ukambani, people in Ukambani, alcohol is not something they like so much. Ukikidogo to they are drunk. They are not quite, it's not a good market. You take the coast, Islam and everything. So alcohol really is a question of Rift Valley, Central and Western Kenya.
Very well.
So now the next frontier, if Gachagua succeeds and indeed is making a lot of efforts, that leaves Western. And I'm challenging Mudavadi. I'm actually advising, not challenging. And I'm informing him, ethanol from Uganda will finish your people in Western before you know what's happened. They will not be there to vote for you when you will stand in 2037.
Our generation will have been wiped out?
Yes.
Sooner than later?
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Still in the corridors of cracking down on illegal liquor and all those not licensed outlets to sell liquor, there is an argument, perhaps the harsh crackdown spearheaded by DP Rigathi in Mount Kenya could actually see the birth of organized crimes like we've seen in other nations in the history. Do you believe that that initiative could be taken in a more better way?
I don't even need to respond to that question. Let me say this. Men have always taken alcohol. It's not a new development. So instead of trying to cramp down on alcohol, why don't we let people consume good alcohol? Those who consume. Me and my religion, we think it's a bad thing. But those who want to consume, why can't we let them consume good alcohol? The white man came here and he made everything African bad, primitive, repulsive, repugnant. That included our traditional drinks. And they legalized our drinks and then brought their drinks. Why do you bring changa from Scotland and you arrest Kenyans for selling changa? Why don't you let people, Luyas and Bluos, take their busa and Kikuus make their muratina? And Kambas make their oki and the Meru and Embu make their marua? Hygienic, good. Allow them to do that. Why are we criminalizing traditional forms of alcohol, but bringing more lethal, now like the ethanol I'm talking about? Is it not better for the people of Western to make their busa and use part of that busa to distill changa than to stop people from busa and from their changa, but ethanol comes in? The Mukorogo that finished a generation of people in Central, it could have been avoided. That could have been avoided. A lot of people in Mount Kenya region are vegetable. They are wasted young people. For the last 20 years or so. Wasted completely. They are good at nothing. And these things they were selling, they were corrogating them. Mixing things and just selling them in cups for like 10 years. And we were watching as a country. So if you ask me, what Gachagua is doing is not necessary. I'm giving you the example of Western. People are consuming dangerous things. Even before this ethanol, there is dangerous mikorogos. We have seen what people mix to make changa lethal. Okay? including these things used to preserve bodies.
Yeah.
Is it it's all
Formalin.
Yes,
Formalin.
we know that. Eh?
Yeah, sure.
We have seen Kenyans go blind from ethanol, from drinking ethanol. Why are we under the spell of the white man who told us our things are bad?
That we need Scottish whiskey.
We need Scottish whiskey, which is just another form of, why Tanzania has legalized konyagi, which is their changa. Uganda has their waraj. Why are we taking so long to do what is obvious?
The bone of contention there in your
Let me tell you, and anybody in government can test this. Just walk to any joint, buy Chrome, this so famous Chrome,
Yeah.
or U-triple-A or what.
Gilbis.
Just buy it, and then go to a very decent joint and buy another Chrome. Take them to the government chemist. Most of what people are consuming is mikorogo. They are made in homes. It's not from the manufacturers of Chrome.
They even have cabs.
And they have
Quality
stamps, standard, they have KRS stamps, but they are fake. Nigushi, they are all fake products, and our children are consuming them. So we are busy trying to crack down on alcohol. I think the problem with this country is cheapness.
However,
and lack of the ability to address the real problem. Whenever there's an issue, we just scratch the surface. We never want to address the problem. The problem goes back to the white man who, first of all, thought anything African is repugnant to morality, to Christianity, and to everything. That included our drinks. Secondly, the white man, if you study the ordinances, the laws that were made from 1909, up to around 1919 that cover alcohol, which we are still using stupidly up to today. The intention was simple. When the white man came, he wanted people to work on his farm. People were not willing. They didn't want to work. Mkikuyu anataka kwenda kunya Munatina, akuje nyumbani akiimba nyimbo zake na kuangalia mbuzi ni ngapi. You tell him to go and work for you, how? So some of these laws were introduced to force the native to work for the white man on the farm. You get it?
I get it.
So most alcohol-related ordinances or laws were meant to prevent the African from whiling away drinking, instead to go and work for the white man. We are still using them this many years after independence. You can see. There's nobody to think around this thing. Mutuzo came with the Mutuzo laws, but they are not applicable. They are not possible. You cannot implement them. Just say there is nothing. You make your changa, you make your busa. And the people will go where there is good busa and where there is good changa. People take good Munatina. If you koroga yours, nobody will come there.
No need to reconstitute Nakada.
No.
To make
or go the Ugandan way, where you make your own changa, but people don't drink it there. It comes to a local factory, collection center. It is purified and packaged, and people can take it.
Quality checks there.
Yeah, quality now to modernize it. But to crack down and yet in the bar, you go to a licensed bar. License imehang kwa ukuta. The people selling you are in uniform. But the chrome you are taking, the stamp which is there is not a KRA stamp, it's a fake stamp. The Cape stamp is a fake stamp. And the stuff itself is equally fake. And we are selling millions of liters of the same to our children. Are we clever people? Using laws to prevent our people from doing their thing. Laws that were put in place in 1919, to force the African to work for the white person. Drinking hours, not to drink. All those were meant to force the African into some order so that they can work for the white man.
To induce them.
Yeah.
Very
not
well.
to induce, to stop them from going to drink so that they can work.
Very well then.
Yeah.
Skeptics' argument though will say that this will be a huge beating on the side of the revenue man, that is the Kenya Revenue Authority. If you're telling the citizens to probably go the traditional brew-way, it will take so much time before even KRA knows how better to collect revenue from alcohol, which has been reaping so large for the revenue man.
Who tells you they must collect that revenue? And
the government is cash strapped.
But you see, my friend, even today, for every one chrome take, KRA collects revenue There is another 50 or 70 where they are not collecting revenue because it's fake. The stamps there are fake. So what it's either way, you're wasting your time. You see, we are even addressing the health of the people of Kenya.
Not just revenue.
It's not revenue, health. If people take their busa where I come from, that's a health drink. I'm not saying people should start drinking. I don't drink. But I know people drink. If they are taking busa instead of this mikorogo they are taking, a mixture all manner of things including ethanol, it's better that way in terms of the health of the people, which is the health of the nation. Okay? And once you regulate an industry nicely, there are many benefits that accrue from it. Crime will go down and so what. Now the revenue, even if you legalize Changande, there's also revenue. Revenue doesn't always have to flow to the government directed through taxes. No, direct. Revenue can also mean the people of the area have money circulating. And when money is in circulation properly, the economy is benefiting. And when the economy is benefiting, the government will get revenues from a revamped economy.
Rightly put. Rightly put. Well, there you have it. We've been talking matters, the alarming trend that is many Kenyans taking to the bottle in a bid to numb the pain of reality that has come with this harsh economy and the rising runaway inflation and cost of living. Therein, you've got recommendations from none other than public scholar himself, Herman Manyora, on what better ways we can address the subject other than just going big on cracking down those taking illegal liquor and liquor of all sorts. That has been our conversation, and time now for Fun of the Week. It is none other than Vivian Wangare in Scotland.
Oh, from Scotland with the Scotch whiskey. Lillian Wangare.
Vivian Wangare.
Vivian.
Yeah.
Thank you, Vivian, for being part of us and continue being part of this family.
All right, asante sana. If you want to be a Fan of the Week, head over to Twitter. Tag the particular edition of the show that you've watched. I'm at Mwenja Richard on Twitter, at Manyora on Twitter as well. Slide there in with your details, where you're coming from, where you're watching from, and what you love about the show. Then definitely you'll make for our Fan of the Week in the subsequent edition. Time now for the Business Glide African Proverb of the Day that is coming up next on your screen.